Another thing that is essential to know about in Python and most programming languages is this concept called escape sequences or escape characters. And what these are a way that Python understands how to interpret certain characters that do certain things, or characters or sequences that have special meaning. And that's what is meant by this section here. So if we have some text and it spans multiple lines, at the end of each line, there will be a new line character, which is represented by a backslash and then an N. A backslash followed by one or more characters is how we represent these escape sequences. So we're going to come back to this, but let's go take a look in idle, and I'll show you what I mean when I'm talking about these escape sequences. So let's say I want to print hi. Let's say Joseph says, "Hi, Bob." Wow, what do you see what just happened there? I'm trying to say a sentence. I'm trying to create a sentence and put quotes around this "Hi, Bob" part. But Python thinks, because this is my start quote, that this is the end quote of my string. So what's going to happen here? We're going to run into an error. So how would we print this if we wanted to just say Joseph says and then just have quotes around "Hi, Bob"? Well, that's where we use escape characters. So we could do print Joseph says backslash. Remember, that's always the start of these escape sequences, and then a quotation. So Python will interpret that. It understands that's an escape character, escape sequence. Hi, Bob. Then we can do it again. And now it will interpret those literally. It will print those out instead of interpreting that as the end of our string. And then we can add one more quotation mark to complete the string. Now we can see that worked. So keep in mind, this is just how Python works. We need these escape characters to help Python understand what we're trying to do. So let's look at some other ones. This new line and tab. And what I just showed you with the double quote, it's the same thing with what can be used with a single quote, by the way. We'll come back to that. But let's print Joseph. Watch what I do here. Backslash N, Bob, backslash N, Robert, backslash N. That's a special character sequence. That's a new line escape sequence. So that's what Python interprets it as. Joseph, Bob, Robert, all on new lines, as if these characters are here, they're just not visible. They're at the end of these words, they're just not visible. We could do the same thing with the tab escape character. Backslash, remember that starts our escape character. Backslash T, Joseph. Let's do that again. Backslash T, Bob. Backslash T, Robert. Now we've got tabs in between all of these. And it looks a little funny with idle here, but you'll have to trust me that those are tab characters. So let's come back to that single quote. We talked about this a little bit at the beginning of the course with strings. You can use double quotes or single quotes to represent strings. If we use double quotes, we can have as many single quotes within it as we want, and then end with a double quote, and it prints those. But if we use single quotes to encapsulate the string, there, let's do some English here. There, let's say I want to say they are. Well, you see, I'm trying to type that, but Python interprets that as the end of my string. If I just want to say there, then I have to escape that special character. So backslash and then the special character. That's our escape sequence. And then it will print there. Also with a backslash, sometimes Python will interpret this in a way that we don't intend. So if we literally want to print a backslash, we can do the same thing. Say backslash, and then another backslash. We'll print one backslash. So I wanted to make sure you're aware of those, and they can be useful in various scenarios. And we'll come back to this more throughout the course, but you need to be aware of it. You need to understand what that's doing. It's just one of the ways that Python works. So these escape sequences are important to know about.